all the different areas that I sort of described before, and that as well. And this is your daily checks here. So machine calibration checks. Make sure. Yep. So make sure that your sticks that are coming out are the correct length, the holes are in the right place. Before the dance arm calibration. So spindle moves and dance arm was 50 millimeters off the floor, which we just check. But you might want to sort of just check that again in the morning before you start. The thing is, when you do those checks though, there's normally coil on there and the coil is in here. So you probably only want to do that when either the coil is tied up or there's no coil on the coil, just for safety. Safety function test. What you want to do is just turn on the pump and hit the emergency stop. Make sure that the pump turns off when you do that, and then you do repeat the same thing for every emergency stop sort of thing. So the guards, this, the emergency stop buttons here, the emergency stop buttons over there. Okay, top up pots more than 3 times a day. So see these little holes here? Yeah. So there's a squirty cam in there, and what you do is you put that engine oil you bought in there, and then you top these up with oil, maybe 3 times a day, 3 or 4 times a day, and that will release oil down here to keep the blade lubricated. There's check strict lube level. Okay, so the lubrication container that we just filled up, we just make sure that that's not getting too low. Empty scrap bins, so we'll have scrap bins here and over there. Also, you want to probably empty the steel scrap out of there at the end of every day, or if you're doing high production during the day, you might want to empty them out before they get too full. Always occurs the ink cartridge prior to commencing production, so when you put the ink in here, I'll show you how to purge it, but normally what I do is I put a piece of paper in here, and then purge it so it doesn't sort of drip in here. And then protect printer cartridge cover and store inside printer cabinet. So you can either store them in here or in a cool place in here. Then there's the weekly checks. So clean covers, make sure it's all clean at the end of the week. Sweep around under the machine, check the hydraulic oil level. So fill to the top if it's getting too low. There's like a black line there on the thermometer, which shows how the line. At the moment it's over 4, so you can't even see how the line is. Then there's the monthly checks. So checking chain tension, so you want to do that after about a month of running. So normally, there's, so you want about 10 millimeters of flex on this longest piece here. So yeah, 10 to 20 millimeters of slack, sort of at these points. And it's the same with the decoiler chain as well. And I'll show you guys how to tension that as well. 6 monthly checks. Just check for any loose nuts and bolts and that sort of thing. Check hydraulic cylinder hoses. So for a new machine, you want to check it after the first week of production. Check shear blades, check the chips and signs of wear. So normally when you have a seat, signs of wear and the shear blade, I'll show you once we get to the steel. Okay. Check all rollers, check the vertical movement or sloppiness by hand. Now there's always a little bit of sloppiness in these anyway. I mean, it's tight now because it's got steel in it, but once we take the steel out, it should have a tiny bit of movement. That'll be normal. But if it's like excessive, then we probably have to replace these auto gauge springs, which are these rubber springs. Those are normally replaced once a year. So what they do is that, because with the old machines you had to adjust the height of these depending on the thickness of steel you were running through. So you had to get a feeler gauge and put it under there and adjust, and it took a long time. But with this, you can, with these auto gauge springs that are all in here, you can use any thickness of steel between 0.55 millimeters and 1.2 millimeters. but you know, over time they can split and lose their sort of springiness. And it's quite easy to replace them. You just unscrew this, and then they come out, throw them out, while you put the new ones in and screw them back in. Also check for any wear on here as well. Like if they're really old, they normally have wear on here, like it's sort of chewed out the teeth, and it's normally, if the top is chewed out, so is the bottom. So those need to be replaced, but normally they shouldn't need to be replaced until you've done like over 1 million meters of steel. Same with this, if your chain has become too stretched, normally over time these teeth and sprockets will also become pointy, and the gaps between them will become wider. And but that also it takes a very long time for that to happen. If it happens like, you know, in the first year or so, then there's something wrong, and we need to investigate, sort of thing. But yeah, so it should be okay as long as you keep everything clean. It shouldn't wear out prematurely. And normally when you sort of clean things, you just use a bit of WD-40 and a clean rag to clean things. Same with the chain, just give it a clean, maybe put a little bit of, spray a bit of chain lube on it.
Chain lube.
You can put maybe a little bit of grease on here, doesn't need to be very much. But that, I think, and the only other place where you need to put grease is maybe the, so every now and then you just get this clean and you just wipe some grease on it. Just sort of open this up as much as you can get it, and then give it a clean, and put new grease on there, and then you're fine.
And grease.
I'll show you how to do that one. So you can set the reminder for the end of the day or the first thing in the morning. Like if you want to, what time do you guys normally start? 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Okay, so you can have it at 8 o'clock, and then that will sort of bring the reminder up first thing when people start up, and then you just go tick, confirm, and then the alarm goes away. If you want to see that chart again, just to give you a reminder, you go into info, maintenance data, and then you go to maintenance info, this one, and then you go show maintenance chart, and that will come up. If you ever change any like punch tools and that sort of thing, like either the dimples or the shear blade or
sama macamnya macam
so it's like I want to reset my change cut maybe, and then I go apply, that resets to 0, cut, but I don't want to have that right now. So that way we can keep an eye on because normally with the lift cut tools, they can start to show signs of wear after about 30,000 punches, and maybe might need to be replaced at 100,000 punches, while bigger tools like the big notch, you probably won't have to replace until it's done about 200,000 punches or more, because the cutting edge is quite big, but the lip cut punches are very quite small, and have a very small cutting edge. So some of them need replacing more often than others. And then that's just your overall tool count for the life of the machine. And this here is the overall meters of steel run through the machine. So you can actually, if you have access to production, my FRAMECAD, or you have a my FRAMECAD account, you can go into my production. And if this is connected to the internet or to your Wi-Fi, you can because it create reports based on how much steel has gone through, how much waste you get got in that sort of thing.
How to connect the Wi-Fi?
So I'll show you that. Okay, so what we do is we go add wireless automatic and scan for networks. So which one up is
Let's go back to it again.
select, and then it's straightforward. So we'll know this is connected once that goes green, and then you'll see an IP address here as well. Normally takes a while. Also sometimes because these aerials aren't very powerful, the receivers aren't very powerful, sometimes it can be a bit hit and miss sort of thing. It's going to take a long time for it to be connected and then disconnect. Sometimes you need a booster or something to sort of boost the signal. But that's why it's always better to have a Ethernet cables in there. It's a lot more.
Pakai kabel LAN.
So we can go back to that.
Oh, there's a
LAN.
LAN.
Well, we'll see if we can connect first by Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So we've got the schedule page here. So this here is where you'll see your jobs that you've loaded and where you can load your jobs. This here somewhere just put there it is, we've got a connection now. That's the IP address. I can show you later as well how to connect your device. If you've got like a smart device, like if you put a smart TV there, you can everybody will be able to see the frame that's being run on here, and so it makes it easier for the assembling guys to know what stick goes where and how the frame looks like at the end. I mean, eventually, once they do it enough, they won't even have to look at that, but or look at the frame on here. So this is where you add jobs or you can erase the jobs and that sort of thing, and also where you can create manual sticks. Normally we only create manual sticks for testing purposes and for calibration of the machine and setup. So that's